And Matt, this is going to be a good one, but we're going to have Mod Light Racing action. 8 cars in attendance for tonight. This is the first time, this is the first time you've seen Mod Lights here at the Bakersfield Speedway. Yeah, these cars are very quick, and things happen in a hurry for the Mod Lights. Right now, we've got 3 out on the track. We're waiting on 1. We're waiting on the 78 of Roy Maynard. On the point, inside row number 1, it's the 42 of Roderick Granger. On the outside, the 71 of Candy Varney.
And in row 2, he's scheduled to start on the outside of row 2, but it looks like he might have lane choice here. It's the number 29 of Phil Barrow.
Lights are out. We're getting the green flag this time coming off of turn number 4. So it's going to be 3 cars going 8 laps. Richard Granger, Candy Varney, and Phil Barrow in the 29. They will pick up the loud pedal at the cone coming off of turn number 4. Green flags in the air, and here we go. We're underway with night number 5 here at the Bakersfield Speedway. Candy Varney's going to lead them down into turns 1 and 2. Phil Barrow all over the backside. They're going to look for 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. It's Varney through the middle of 3 and 4. Phil Barrow up on the high side, trying to get around the 42 of Richard Granger. Can't quite get there. Lap number 1. Give it to Candy Varney. Varney once again leads him down into turns 3 and 4. Phil Barrow now taking a peek on the bottom side, coming off of turn number 4. It's Varney once again. 2 laps down, 6 laps remaining. Barrow's down there, catfishing on the bottom side. Candy Varney through the middle. Down the back straight they go into turns 3 and 4.
Well, Barrow, like we mentioned, had the lane choice. He felt out the top lane and the bottom lane as we got a car around. It's Granger in turn 4.
Granger getting it wrong, young man. Out of Bakersfield, California. Gets it fired back up. We will stay green. We still got a battle out front now. Phil Barrow's taking a peek to the bottom side of Candy Varney. Once again coming off of turn number 4. They're side by side at the stripe. Barrows and Varney battling out front. Varney a little bit higher through turns 3 and 4. Phil Barrow still trying to make that bottom side work. Still a little greasy down there in turns 3 and 4. We got 5 laps down and 3 laps left to go. Good battle out front with our 2 leaders, Candy Varney and Phil Barrow.
They're getting pretty close off of corner exit as Barrow now decides to take the high line but cuts it low as he comes off of 4. Closes the distance to Varney.
Great battle once again out front. 6 laps down, 2 laps remaining. Candy Varney and Phil Barrow, 1 and 2. Richard Granger still in the number 3 in the 42. Here comes Phil Barrow. He's going to take the white flag. 1 lap remaining for Phil Barrow and Candy Varney. Around goes the 42 in turns 1 and 2. He keeps the candle lit. We got a battle for the lead coming off of turns 3 and 4. Candy Varney backs off the throttle going to turns 3 and 4. Coming to the checkered flag. It's going to be the 29. Phil Barrow picking up the heat race number 1. Candy Varney finishing second and rounding out the field in the 42. That's Richard Granger. That's going to do it for heat race number 1 for the Mod Light division. There was only 3 cars out on the track, but man, that's some good, healthy racing action with really only 2-car battle between Phil Barrow and Candy Varney.
Well, Barrow was checking out the high line. He was checking out the low line. Then he went high and cut it underneath on the bottom coming out of corner exit. I think that's the line that he preferred. That's the line that he went with, which got him the checkered flag.
Great run for Phil Barrows. Give it up for the 29 from Bakersfield, California. And we'll have 4 more to do it again for the Mod Light division. Your lineup for heat race number 2 for the Mod Lights. On the point in the 4C from Bakersfield, California, it's Cade Lewis. And on his outside, it's the 17 of the Varney Racing, number 17 of Tim Varney.
On the inside of row 2, the number 11 of Zach Foster in the white car with the fluorescent letter or numbering. And on the outside of row 2, the number 48, Colby Lewis.
Yes, So we've got the father father-son duo of Cade Lewis and Kobe Lewis. Yes, that is the Kobe Lewis, the former pitcher for the Texas Rangers, outside row number 2. And that is his brother, Zach on the attack, Forrester in the 11. And Cade Lewis, the son of Kobe Lewis, in the 4C. So all 4 of these drivers hailing from right here in Bakersfield, California. All right, lights are out. We'll get the green flag next time coming off of turn number 4. Cade Lewis, Tim Varney, Zach Forrester, and Kobe Lewis. Matt, we'd like to do a little thing here at the Bakersfield Speedway. We nudge our neighbor, make a friendly wager. If you had to pick a guess out of these 4 cars, who do you think is going to pick up heat race number 2 for the Mod Light division?
I like that number 4 car up front. He's at the point. He's going to get the jump here on the green flag. I like his chances.
Green flag is in the air, and I'm going to have to go with my man Zach Forrester in the 11, inside row number 2. Tim Varney's going to lead him off of turn number 2, down the back straight, to go into turns 3 and 4. Varney up on the high side, Cade Lewis down on the bottom, catfishing coming off of turns 3 and 4. Give lap number 1 to Tim Varney. Cade Lewis in the number 2 spot, Zach Forrester 3rd, and Kobe Lewis rounding out that top 4.
Here comes your main man Forrester on the outside, looking to take the high line, hoping it finds him some speed off of corner exit as Cade Lewis almost gets into the side of him, but able to avoid contact.
Now they're side by side for the lead coming off of turn number 2. Tim Varney out in front of Zach Forrester. Zach Forrester pulls the tear off, going to the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Forrester down on the bottom side. Tim Varney going high coming off of turn number 2. They're side by side at the stripe.
Good battle for the lead here as they come off corner number 2. On the low side, it's Forrester. On the high side, it's Varney. They're still side by side as they head into turn 3.
Here comes a little mini slider from Zach Forrester. He's going to get out front, clear the 17 as he comes off of turn number 4. We're halfway there. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. It's Zach Forrester, Tim Varney, Cade Lewis, and Kobe Lewis.
Forrester now taking the high side as Varney tries out the low line, but it looks like Forrester has found his groove as he comes off number 4 with a big lead.
The moto Yoshimura, number 11 of Zach on the attack. Forrester goes high once again in turns 1 and 2, down the back straight with 5 laps down, 3 laps remaining. Tim Varney comfortably in the number 2 spot. Kobe Lewis gets it wrong coming off of turn number 4, but he keeps it gathered up. And we've got 6 laps down and 2 laps remaining.
Cade Lewis takes a little detour through the infield as it's Forrester, Varney, Cade Lewis, and Kobe Lewis rounding out the top 4.
Zach Forrester will come around, get the white flag this time, coming off of turn number 4. 4 more corners for the 11 machine as he comes off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway he goes. They are all stretched out fairly evenly coming off of turn number 4. It's going to be Zach on the attack. Forrester picking up heat race number 2 for the IMCA Mod Lights.
Forrester dominating that heat race, but he and Varney were back and forth a few laps ago, so Varney putting on a good show for the fans as well.
Varney, Cade Lewis, and Kobe Lewis rounding out your top 4 for the Mod Light division. So Zach on the attack, Forrester, the godfather of the Mod Lights, picked up heat race number 2. Now coming up next, it's going to be our California Lightning Sprints, and I'm going to hand it over to my good buddy Alex Gregorius for the California Lightning Sprint heat race number 1.
And next up is the California Lightning Sprints, race number 2 on the CLS schedule. Our second race here at Bakersfield Speedway. I want to thank the Schweitzer family for an excellently prepared racetrack here at Bakersfield. And welcome back to Bakersfield, everybody. So, heat race number 1. On the pole, the 3 of Grant Sexton. On the outside, the 41B of A.J. Bender. On the inside of the second row, Wyatt Bozanowski. And on the outside, the 18 of David Gasper. On the inside of row number 3, Jeffrey Dyer in the 4. On the outside, the 13X of Aiden Lang. On the inside, the 24 of Chase Gall. On the outside, the 39 of Mark Henry. This will be an 8-lap heat race. And one more lap to green. This is the first race of the year with CLS for Grant Sexton and also for A.J. Bender, both of them on the front row. A.J. Bender's car owned by Mike and Teresa Schweitzer, local Bakersfield people here. And on the inside, Grant Sexton from San Diego, owned by his father, Brent Sexton. As they're coming down the green and the bumpers are getting bumped. Green flag. A.J. Bender gets a move on the outside, trying to get a run on the outside of Sexton, and does. A.J. Bender to the lead. Grant Sexton in second. Bosnowski in third. The 18 of David Gasper in fourth. The final transfer spot as Aiden Lang tries to make a move on the 18. Can't make it happen. A.J. Bender out front pulling away as Grant Sexton chases him down. David Gasper in the transfer spot right now as Jeff Dyer and Aiden Lang are battling for fifth. The 24 of Gall moves up to the top. A.J. Bender, a 13.777, a little bit faster than his qualifying lap. Continuing to lead coming out of turn 4 as David Gasper still maintains that last transfer spot. Aiden Lang trying to make up any ground that he can to get up to the last transfer spot. And right now, David Gasper's doing an excellent job of holding them off. A.J. Bender is pulling away, nearly a full straightaway going down the back straightaway. As Grant Sexton maintaining second. And David Gasper still holding that transfer spot as Bosnowski gets a little bit sideways out of turn 2 and keeps on going. Right now, the white flag is out. A.J. Bender out front. And still Grant Sexton in second. Bosnowski third as the checker flag falls for A.J. Bender. And the 41, Grant Sexton second, the 36, Bosnowski third, and the last transfer spot, the 18 of David Gasper, the 13X of Aiden Lang, the 4 of Jeffrey Dyer, and the 24 of Chase Gall. And the 39 of Mark Henry came up lame as the checker was coming out. Congratulations, A.J. Bender and the Schweitzer family on an excellent heat race win right there. I was just talking about those guys. And the Benders would like to thank their sponsors, Vans Logging, BillMill.com Real Estate Services in Bakersfield, Abacus of Bakersfield, Elite Signs, Kyle Heckman of Bakersfield, Watkin Construction, and special thanks to MP Environmental. Mike and Teresa Schweitzer here from Bakersfield, locals. Always out here with a car that can win every time, and they just proved it by winning the heat race again. And the second heat race coming out on track. On pole will be the 0 of Jeremy Queener. On the outside, the 25 of Scott Kinney. On the inside of the second row, the 47 of Gary Dennett. On the outside, the 44 of Brent Sexton. On the inside of the third row, the 21X of Bobby McNovich. On the outside, the 37 of Dominic Del Monte. On the inside of the last row, that would be the 1 of Kelly. And on the outside, the 17 of Dale Gamer. So that one car, I have a lot of laps in that race car here at this racetrack. Almost won a bunch of races here. Almost. Finished second to Bobby McNovich more times than I want to count. But out front, Jeremy Queener in that 0 car. Rumor is he just purchased that car from the owner. And on the outside, Scott Kinney, who is a BCRA legend, I'll call him. I said that the last time he ended up spinning out, but the guy's usually pretty fast. And on the inside, BCRA competitor Greg Dennett. As we're coming down the green flag is out. Jeremy Queener gets a jump going down into turn number 1 as Scott Kinney tries to run the top side. Not quite going to happen up there. As Bobby McNovich working the bottom going down into turn 3. Catfishing down there. Takes the transfer spot away from Dennett. And the next car in line will be Sexton. got Jeremy Queener, Scott Kinney in second, and Brent Sexton and Bobby McNovich going to work. Bobby McNovich trying to make that move to get around Sexton as Queener, the leader, spins it in turn 4. Jeremy Queener, leading the heat race, decided that he didn't want to run up front anymore, so he just decided to spin it and park it and start in the back. Jeremy Queener was having a pretty good run there. He was running the fastest laps out of everybody and just kind of lost it coming out of turn 4. So now, the second place car of Kinney Kinney has now left the racetrack. Scott Kinney had a problem, and he has now left the racetrack. That puts Brent Sexton up front. Yeah, he gained 2 spots and didn't have to do anything. Brent Sexton, Bobby McNovich, Greg Dennett, Dominic Del Monte, and Pat Kelly, Dale Gamer, and Jeremy Queener. They're going to give him one more to go to green. Yeah, Brent Sexton's going to get the best passing job, and he didn't have to work for it. Well, let's see what Bobby McNovich has to say about that. We still got, 5 laps to go? 6 laps to go? We got 6 more laps to go here. Let's see how this one's going to work out. Green is out. Brent Sexton gets a jump as Bobby McNovich, a slow takeoff going down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Greg Dennett trying to get his nose underneath McNovich. Not going to happen as Brent Sexton tries to drive away from McNovich. McNovich already starting to catch him as Jeremy Queener working his way around the 17 and trying to get around the 1 of Pat Kelly to try and get back toward the front. Bobby McNovich all over the back bumper of Brent Sexton now. Can he make that move? Bobby McNovich to the bottom, side by side with Sexton coming out of turn 2. Sexton's got the run on the top. McNovich still occupying the bottom. And it's going to be Bobby McNovich inheriting the lead, but here comes Sexton back, side by side at the line. Bobby McNovich, and upside down went the 1 of Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly got it upside down coming out of turn number 2. I didn't even see it until the leaders got to him. That was such an entertaining race between Bobby McNovich and Brent Sexton. And they're uprighting the number 1K over there. Hopefully not too bad a damage. Pat Kelly, first time out in that car, I think actually this year. I don't think he's run anywhere this year. First time out in that car, and looks like driver's okay. And he fires it back off and drives away. That's not too bad. Now the track's going to go back yellow. They'll get the cars lined up, and we'll get ready to go again.
Alex, Bobby McNovich coming out. This is night number 2 for the California Lightning Sprints. He was having some motor troubles, and night number 1, he was not able to finish. That's the winningest driver for your series here in Bakersfield, California. He's looking for some redemption in the 21. That 21X machine is very familiar with the winner's circles here in Bakersfield, California. So we'll see if he can get it done. It's going to revert back to the lap previous. So the 44 of Sexton's going to be out front. McNovich. And then the 47 of Dennett.
I'll say one thing. Bobby McNovich is never a guy you want to be in second if you're leading.
You've got 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. I'd put my money on that 21X machine, Alex. That's a very, very sporty car. Looks like he could put that thing anywhere he wants on the racing surface. So keep your eyes on that 21X of Bobby McNovich.
Well, I love that guy like a brother, and I'll be honest, I would do anything for him, but I hate racing with him because he is so smooth everywhere he goes. He puts the car exactly where he wants it, and the car stays.
Yeah, there's always going to be that guy with the target on his back. The lights are out. Green flag coming this time, coming off at turn number 4.
As the green flag comes out, Brent Sexton trying to get that gap on Bobby McNovich again. McNovich making an uncommon move and going to the top this time. McNovich trying to get a run out of turn 2. Sexton gets a good run coming off the bottom as Jeremy Queener makes his way back to 3rd from the back. Bobby McNovich trying to get moves on Sexton as Sexton slips up in the middle of the corner right there, and McNovich trying to get to the outside again. Oh, Sexton gets sideways going into 3, opens up the door for McNovich. They are side by side at the line with one more lap to go as Jeremy Queener sneaking up on 3rd and Greg Dennett in 4th. Bobby McNovich move on the outside and secure the lead, and he does. Bobby McNovich, checker flag this time. Bobby McNovich, Sexton, Jeremy Queener, Greg Dennett, the 37 of Del Monte, the 17 of Dale Gamer, and the 1X of Pat Kelly. Put your hands together for Bobby McNovich.
Red let up. Red let up.
Alex, was it just me, or were you seeing the thumbs up from the 21X of Bobby McNovich down the back straightaway with the white flag going into turns 3 and 4, giving the thumbs up to Sexton as he was going by? That was a very sportsmanship thing right there from Bobby McNovich.
Yeah, I think that was more of a see you, buddy, I'm leaving.
So Bobby McNovich picking up yet another heat race win here for the California Lightning Sprints. It's coming up next is going to be our 3rd and final heat race for the California Lightning Sprints.
And the next one out, heat race number 3 for the California Lightning Sprints. And this is the final heat race tonight for the California Lightning Sprints. And we got 24 cars on hand tonight, as heat race number 3 should be pulling out on the track. On the pole will be the 2R of Rob Palmier. On the outside, the 88B of Trevor Ballou. On the inside of row number 2, the 8G of Eric Greco. On the outside, the 45 of Cody Nye, first time out this year. And on the inside of row number 3 will be the 97 of Leland Day. On the outside would be the 2J of James Turnbull, the second. And I missed the 42 of John Robertson. Sorry about that. He'd be on the second row of the second row outside. We call him Rockstar. 8 laps. The top 4 transfer. And we will see. Rob Palmier started on the pole of the main event last time here and had a problem on the first lap. Let's see if he can get some redemption this time. We're going to be going one more lap to green. Rob Palmier in his 4th year with California Lightning Sprints. And Trevor Ballou in the 88B on the outside, a 14-year-old. And 14 years old, and he's, I believe, in his 2nd year with CLS. Keep an eye on him. As they're coming down to green, green flag is out. Rob Palmier gets a jump going into turn 1 as Trevor Ballou follows him in. And look up on the outside. Here comes the 2J of Turnbull. He just passed 3 cars going into turn number 1. It looks like he's going to try and get some more on the way out of turn 4. Aaron Greco makes his moves underneath the 88B of Ballou. Takes over second as Rob Palmier drives away. But Aaron Greco is on a roll lately, and let's see if he can catch leader Palmier. And Turnbull slipped up going into turn 3 and gave up 2 of those spots that he just gained. The 45 of Cody Nye in the final transfer spot right now, following Ballou going into turn number 3. And out front, Rob Palmier holding off Aaron Greco. About a quarter of a second gap right now between the two. Cody Nye running down on the bottom, takes over the 3rd spot from Trevor Ballou. And John Robertson and James Turnbull and the 2 of... There's a curse going on tonight. The 2 of Rob Palmier leading spins it, exiting turn number 2. I don't think I want to lead a heat race tonight, man. What do you think?
Alex, man, it looks like it's tough conditions out there. Something about that nice clean air is very tough for these cars, it seems like right now. We've had leaders spinning two of the three heat races so far. So Rob Palmier getting it wrong halfway through this one. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. That's going to put Eric Greco up on the point. I believe Eric Greco was our winner from night number 1, picking up his first time win here in Bakersfield, California in the 8G machine. So Eric Greco, Trevor Ballou, Cody Nye, and John Robertson. That is your top 3. Lights are out. We'll get the green flag once again coming off of turn number 4.
Now, Eric Greco did win here last time at Bakersfield. This is his first win at Bakersfield, and then he decided to go up to Placerville and win the season opener up there. And we're coming down to green. Green flag is out, and Eric Greco trying to get away from Cody Nye. Trevor Ballou in third, and John Robertson and James Turnbull fighting for that last transfer spot. Robertson with a run on the outside. Turnbull trying to get the car to bite on the bottom. Going into turn 3, Robertson slides up the racetrack, but they are still side by side. Eric Greco and Cody Nye both driving away from the rest of the field at this point. Ballou, Turnbull, and Robertson all racing for that last transfer spot. James Turnbull gets by Ballou to take third as Robertson slides up behind Trevor Ballou. And Turnbull now secured in third with the white flag coming out for Eric Greco in the AG and the 45 of Cody Nye. John Robertson trying to make one more move going into turn number 1. Side by side with Ballou, could not make it stick. Ballou gets a run going off. Robertson one more time. Not going to happen. Checkered flag for Eric Greco. The 45 of Cody Nye. The 2J of Turnbull the second. And the 88B of Trevor Ballou will pick up the last transfer spot. The 42 of John Robertson, the 2R of Palmier, and the 97 of Leland Day round out the rest of the field. And that is that for the California Lightning Sprints.
That does it once again for the California Lightning Sprints here, night number 2 for that series. Coming up next is going to be our H&S Body Works Hobby Stocks heat race number 1. Heat race number 1 making their way to the track for the H&S Body Works Hobby Stock Division. Now it's inside row number 1. We got the 24 of Tina Johnson. On her outside, it's the 35 of Johnny Wood.
Inside of row 2, we got the number 21 of Kyle Wood. And outside of row 2, the 4th position, the number 91 of Marcus Wankums.
Inside row number 3, the 10B of Trevor Baker. And on his outside, the C50 rounding out the field, Nick Kaufman in the C50. That'll be your 6-car field going 8 laps for heat race number 1 for the H&S Body Works Hobby Stock Division. This division has been dominated so far in 2021 by the outlaw Ricky Childress Jr. Looking to make it 3 in a row. But we've got 14 other drivers that do not want that to be the case. So we're side by side. Lights will be going out this time. Green flag will be flying next time coming off of turn number 4. Tina Johnson on the point, the lady driver out of Bakersfield, California in the number 24. Johnny Wood, if he could, in the 35 outside row number 1. His brother, Kyle Wood, he was in the booth with me last week here. And now he's down on the track inside row number 2 on his outside. Marcus Wonkum in the 91. Trevor Baker and Nick Kaufman round out your 6-car field. They got to be side by side at the cone. That's green flag flies. Tina Johnson, Johnny Wood, Kyle Wood, Marcus Wonkum, Trevor Baker, and Nick Kaufman. We go green. They're side by side in the turns 1 and 2. Tina Johnson's going to lead them down on the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. She's going to be halfway up the track going into 3 and 4. It's Tina Johnson going to be lap number 1. They're side by side for second. That's the brothers Johnny Wood and Kyle Wood. As they go off into turns 1 and 2, we got one around. That is Nick Kaufman getting it wrong. He keeps it going. We stay green.
Meanwhile, Johnson's still in the lead as she comes off of turn 4. Kyle Wood making a charge on the inside line. He's running the bottom, trying to make it stick down there.
Kyle Wood now taking a peek underneath the 24 of Tina Johnson. Can't quite get there, going down the back straight into turns 3 and 4 there. Two grooves of racing here at the Bakersfield Speedway. Here comes Kyle Wood. Who's it going to be at the start? They're side by side.
Johnson with the good run out of 4, running that high line. And there, around goes Johnson at the exit of turn number 1 and turn number 2, and she keeps it going. We're going to stay green. Never mind, we're going yellow.
Yellow flag comes out for the 24 of Tina Johnson. And what a heads-up drive from the 35 of Johnny Wood, if he could, in the 35, just avoiding contact with Tina Johnson in the Gills transmission number 24. Man, that's a good heads-up move from the 35.
Well, John, that also gives Nick Kaufman a chance to catch back up to the field, as he was down quite a considerable distance after spinning it around in turn 2. Gives him a chance to catch right back up in that number 6 spot.
Nick Kaufman should go P5, as Tina Johnson was the cause of the caution, so she'll tag the back of the longest line. And we'll see if she can get around Kaufman and former track champion Trevor Baker in the 10B. Right now we have two distinct lines of racing. We've got Kyle Wood running down to the bottom side, and now Johnny Wood. We'll see if he can get it on the outside and go side-by-side racing. Little family rivalry right there. That's Johnny Wood and Kyle Wood, brothers, trying to get it done for heat race number 1 for the H&S Bodyworks Hobby Stocks. And here we go, coming off of turn number 4, we go green.
Kyle Wood still sticking to that inside line. Johnny Wood runs up top. Johnny Wood with the run off of turn 2, not able to do anything with it, as Wood still down on the inside.
Kyle Wood down on the bottom, a little bit of a push from Johnny Wood. Around goes Tina Johnson once again. She keeps the candle lit. We will stay green. So
Johnson was trying to avoid Kaufman, who had gotten loose, and around goes Kaufman again in corner number 2, right in front of Johnson, who's able to avoid him to the inside.
Problems early for the 24 and the C50 of Tina Johnson and Nick Kaufman, but they keep those things pointed in the right direction. Now we got a little bit of contact between Johnny Wood and Trevor Baker with turns 1 and 2. Marcus Welcome gets around for the second spot. Now here comes a run from Johnny Wood around the outside going into turns 3 and 4.
Wood drove it deep into turn 3 and almost lost it in turn 4, which allowed Welcome to get past him. But Wood, trying to make it stick on the outside again, retakes the number 2 spot.
Johnny Wood, if he could, racing side by side with Marcus Welcome once again as they come off of turn number 2. Johnny Wood, a little bit wild, but man, that car's a little bit quicker as he's going down the high side into turns 3 and 4.
Kyle Wood putting some distance on the number 2 and 3 vehicles here as Wood comes out of turn number 2 with a big lead.
White flags in the air. The checkered flag will fly this time, coming off of turn number 4. 4-year leader Kyle Wood. Now they're side by side for third going into turns 3 and 4. Shove of the nose from Johnny Wood. It's going to be side by side at the stripe for third, and Trevor Baker's going to pick it up. So Kyle Wood picking up the win over Johnny Wood in a side-by-side finish for Trevor Baker over Marcus Welcome. That's going to do it for heat race number 1. Good drive from Kyle Wood. And the K&R valve number 21 all lit up graphics RPM race collision machine from right here in Bakersfield, California. That's K Wood getting it done. So Matt, a little bit of that leader problems filtered over from the California Lightning Sprints to our hobby stock divisions. Tina Johnson out front spins it around over there in turns 1 and 2. That happened twice for the Lightning Sprints. Now it's happened one more time for the hobby stocks. We'll see if that doesn't keep a...
I guess if you don't have the mud in your visor, you're just not seeing clearly, apparently, if you're in the lead and spinning around up front. Luckily, we haven't had any major incidents with the leader, but nonetheless, Kyle Wood putting on a good show. It seems like you did him some good up here in the broadcast booth. Gave him some good luck vibes going into tonight.
Yeah, they had a good run. He's was talking with me last week about, the target on the back of the 16 of the Outlaw, Ricky Childress Jr. He says, I'm going to be doing some things now. He got a different view from up top down there. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to give it all I got to run down that Ricky Childress Jr. But now we got heat race number 2 out on the track on the inside, row number 1. It's the 26S of Steven Johnson on his outside, the 55 of Carl Nolan.
Inside of row number 2, you got the 20 of Travis Avila, and outside in the 4th position, the 48X of Tom Manzella.
And in our third and final row, we're missing the 18 of Jeff Howden. He's slated to start inside row number 3, but it's going to be Dana Ritchie in the number 6. Dana Ritchie, longtime racer here in Bakersfield, California. He took quite a bit of time off. Now he's back behind the wheel. And that signed factory racing number 6. So we'll see what Dana Ritchie can do. Lights are out. We'll get the green flag this time coming off of turn number 4. Matt, I'm going to do it once again. I'm going to nudge my neighbor, make a friendly wager. Who do you think is going to pick up heat race number 2 for the H&S Body Hobby Stocks?
I'm going to go with the guy on the point, the 26X of Steven Johnson. He's going to have, I think he's going to have a good run here.
Steven Johnson, that is a very, very stout pick. I'm going to go right on his outside. I'm going to go with Carl Nolan. So we're going to cherry pick the front row. Lights are out. Green flags in the air. We're underway with heat race number 2 for the H&S Body Works Hobby Stocks. It's Steven Johnson down to the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Now here comes Tom Manzella now from the Manzella Chiropractor, Bakersfield Chiropractor. $40 adjustments. You can see it, or $60 adjustments. You can see it on the side of the 48X of Tom Manzella. But out front, it is Steven Johnson catfishing the bottom now, coming off of turn number 2. Down the back straight they go, nose to tail, into turns 3 and 4.
Manzella had a good run on the outside, coming off of 2, closed the distance to Steven Johnson, and he's right on his bumper as they come off of turn 4.
Manzella hard on the binder, staying out of the backside of the 26S of Steven Johnson. He's still trying to make the bottom work. Manzella, a little bit of a bobble coming off of turn number 2. Loses ground as he goes into 3 and 4. Here comes the 26S. He's going to come around to lead lap number 3. We got 3 down and 5 to go.
Spinning around in turn 4 is the 18 of Jeff Houghton. Looks like we're going to stay green as Carl Nolan still in the mix. Don't sleep on that blue 55.
Manzella now still trying to make that top side work. Trying to dive in the corner off of turns 3 and 4. Take a peek to the inside of the 26S of Steven Johnson. Still can't quite get there. Going into turns 1 and 2.
Steven Johnson utilizing that lower lane. Catfishing like you called it, John. The 48 of Tom Manzella now goes to the high side in turn 3.
Manzella looking for a run coming off of turn number 4. They're going to be side by side at this strike. Still give it to the 26S as they go down into turns 1 and 2.
Manzella finally making it stick up top. He and Johnson are going to be going the same speed going into turn 3. Johnson on the low side, Manzella on the high side again. Manzella with a nose out in front, coming off of turn 4.
6 laps down, 2 laps remaining. It's going to go to Tom Manzella that time by. Battling back is Steven Johnson. They are side by side down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4, it's Manzella high. Johnson down on the bottom side. Johnson slings it in nice and tight on the bottom side. White flag in the air one more time around.
Well, with all this side-by-side action, Carl Nolan again putting himself in the mix as he runs way high, coming off of turn 2, hoping to find some speed.
Now Manzella has a car on Johnson as Johnson gets a heavy push coming into turns 3 and 4. Now here comes Carl Nolan up into the number 2 spot. He's going to get it done. Tom Manzella picking up the win over Carl Nolan with a late race pass over Steven Johnson, and Dana Ritchie rounding out that top 4.
Well, Nolan got a bump coming off of turn 4 from Steven Johnson as they headed towards the finish line, but Carl Nolan finishing second behind Manzella, your heat race winner.
Good run up front for Tom Manzella, coming from outside row number 2, picking up the heat race win in heat race number 2. Coming up next will be your heat race number 3 for our H&S Body Works Hobby Stocks. And we've got some heavy hitters in this one, folks. Inside row number 1, we got the 21H of Jacob Hughes. And on his outside, the 12 of John Flippin.
Inside row number 2, the 25B of Brooke Simmental. And outside, in the number 74, Gary Dutton.
Inside row number 3, it's the 16 holders heating and air conditioning of Ricky Childress Jr. And on his outside, the 119 of Rick Henderson. That will be our 6-car field. Looks like we're going to be missing the 12 of John Flippin. He was having some problems in hot laps. Seems like he was having some motor issues in the number 12 machine. Looks like he could not get those figured out for heat race number 3. So it looks like it's going to be lady driver Brooke Simmental on the point. And on her outside, Big Lick Gary Dutton and the Ethan Dotson Racing number 74. Row 2 will be Ricky Childress Jr. and the 119 of Rick Henderson. Lights are going out. We'll get the one to go this time by. Brooke Simmental, Gary Dutton, Ricky Childress, Rick Henderson, and the 21H of Jacob Hughes electing to start at the rear of the field. Five cars, 8 laps the distance. They got to be side by side at the cone as the green flag flies. We go green, and here we go. Gary Dutton with a big jump on the outside as they go into turns 1 and 2. It's Simmental down on the bottom side. Now Gary's going to get the run coming off of 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Side by side formation as they go into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Big Lick Gary Dutton. Around goes Henderson. In lap number 1 to Big Lick Gary Dutton.
Dutton with Childress on his left rear quarter panel as Childress trying to get some speed off of turn 2, running down Dutton for that number 1 spot. Simmental close behind in third.
Ricky Childress trying to make the bottom work as he's right to the left rear of Gary Dutton as they come down the front straightaway. Now they're side by side over there in turns 1 and 2. Battle of the nephew and uncle as they go into 3 and 4.
Childress got very loose coming off of turn 2. He's going to hold the bottom here. Dutton still with the lead position as he comes off of 4. Now Childress trying the high side behind Dutton as Dutton goes way high in turn 2. Simmental almost goes around off of 2.
They're side by side into turns 3 and 4. Now we got Ricky Childress Jr. down the bottom side. Gary Dutton up on the high side. They make contact coming off of turn number 4. Now Dutton tries the bottom into turns 1 and 2. Ricky Childress all the way up to the fence coming off of 2. He's going to get a high RPM run down to 3 and 4.
Simmental almost goes around again, and Henderson does go around in corner number 2. Looks like he's stuck there. The yellow's going to come out, John.
Caution flag will fly for Rick Henderson. He was stuck down on the tractor tire, could not get it righted, and that's going to bring out caution number 1 for the Hobby Stock Heat Race number 3. And that was a good battle up front between Ricky Childress Jr. and Gary Dutton. And when Ricky Childress got around Gary, Gary gave him a little shove down the front straight and said, "Hey, buddy, I'm still right here." So we're halfway through this one. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining. Ricky Childress once again trying to go 3 for 3 in 2021. And that Holders Heating and Air Conditioning number 16 Harrison Street Automotive machine.
Well, we've seen Childress run the low line. We've seen him run up top. We've seen him run the middle. Seems like he's comfortable everywhere on this track, but you would expect that. As we go back green, Dutton peeks to the inside.
Dutton taking a peek to the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Ricky Childress up on the high side. He's going to get that RPM run once again down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4.
Dutton dives it low into turn 3. He and Childress come off of 4. Childress, with a good run, will extend his lead.
Henderson getting it wrong over here in turns 3 and 4. Once again, we will stay green. Ricky Childress now has 4 cars on Dutton as they go down to the back straight into turns 3 and 4. Dutton tries the high side. Can't quite dime in the quarter. Now Brooke Simmental giving Jacob Hughes a run for his money for that number 3 spot. We got 6 down, 2 to go.
Childress running the high line, getting the speed off of the corner. Dutton not able to close the gap. He does momentarily in turn 3, but Childress is going to have the speed coming to the white flag.
We got 7 laps down, 1 laps remaining as Gary Dutton sends it off into turns 1 and 2. Slides himself into, comes off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. It's Childress by 6 as they go into 3 and 4.
Childress running the low line. Dutton again slides it way up the track, but it's going to be Childress taking the checkers. Dutton second. A good race for third, as it's going to be Hughes taking the 3rd spot with Simmental in 4th.
Rounding out that 5th car is going to be Rick Henderson, and that's going to do it for the H&S Body Works Hobby Stock Division. So Outlaw Ricky Childress Jr. picking up right where we left off, up on the number 1 spot. Coming up next is going to be the TQ Midgets, the NMRA 3/4 Midgets. 6 cars going 8 laps. Inside row number 1, we're going to be looking for the NMRA midgets. Don Brasher in the number 70, and on his outside, the 07 of Kevin Kale.
Inside row number 2 will be the 77 of Ace Kale, and the number 36 on the outside is West Evans.
Inside row number 3 from Moore Park, California, it's a Stewart Chassis Honda power plant for the 59 of Scott Niven. Outside row number 3 from Camarillo, California, with the Stewart Chassis Honda power plant, the Hiroshima Motorsports number 5 of Bruce Hiroshima. And that will be your 6-car lineup for the 8-lap heat race for the NMRA TQ Midgets. Now, Matt, we do have quite a bit of open-wheel racing here tonight at the Bakersfield Speedway. These won't quite have the speed of the California Lightning Sprints. They do have a little bit smaller power plant, and they do not have the wing on top to give that downforce. So things can get a little slicey and dicey for these open-wheel TQ Midgets.
Oh, there's plenty of experience in the field, though. That number 36, West Evans, a 2010 champion, a 2013 champion, 2016 and 2018 champion of the series. So don't count out the gentleman who's going to be starting on the outside of row number 2, that black 36, going through 3 and 4.
We're missing Chuck West from the series here tonight at the Bakersfield Speedway. He is also one of the most winningest racers from Clovis, California. 2002, 2006, 2008, 2011, 12, 15, and 17 champion Chuck West. Not in attendance here tonight, but his stablemate, West Evans, as you said, outside row number 2, looking to pick up another win here in Bakersfield, California. Looks like we've got all 6 cars out to the racing surface. We'll get them lined up in their respective starting positions and get back to heat race number 1, one and only for the NMRA TQ Midgets. Series sponsors for the TQ Midgets: Racing Optics, Alpha Gloves, 6B Apparel, Corey Cruzman School, VP Racing Fuel, the fuel of the NMRA. Corey Cruzman Racing School, you can check that out in Ventura, California. If you want to get behind the wheel of an open-wheel sprint car, a midget, a TQ, you can go down to Ventura, go to the Corey Cruzman School, and get behind the wheel of one of these open-wheel racing machines. Lights are out. We're getting the green flag coming off of turn number 4. Don Brasher on the point as the lights are out. Green flag will fly coming off of turn number 3 and 4. They got to be side by side at the cone. And the green flag is in the air, and here we go. Brasher's going to lead him down to the bottom side of the turns 1 and 2. Here comes the 07 of Kevin Kale. But down on the bottom side, it's the 77. They're 4 wide coming off of turn number 4. They make it work.
It got very dicey there for a minute as Bruce Hiroshima now takes the 2nd spot. He has some speed up top, looking to challenge for the lead.
Hiroshima trying to get it done on the high side, coming off of turns 3 and 4. He'll get around Dan Brasher as they go into turns 1 and 2. Kevin Kale rounding out that top 3. Then you pick up Ace Kale and the 77 running forward.
Hiroshima took advantage of a bobble by Don Brasher as the yellow number 5 takes the lead. Here coming off of turn 4.
Bruce Hiroshima getting it done as they go into turns 1 and 2. Good battle going on. Here comes West Evans now taking a peek underneath the 70 of Don Brasher as they go down the back straightaway. It's going to be West Evans up into the top 3.
West Evans making his presence known as he closes the gap to the 2nd spot, but out front it's Bruce Hiroshima opening up a big lead as he runs that high line off of turn 2.
Brashear now going to get passed by West Evans as he bobbles coming off a 2, goes a little bit high. Now here comes West Evans down the bottom side of turns 3 and 4. Can he run down Bruce Hiroshima in the number 5?
West Evans, a 4-time champion of this series, as we mentioned. Doesn't seem to be closing the gap just yet on Hiroshima, but he's there waiting for Hiroshima to make a mistake as we come into the final laps of this heat race.
It's Hiroshima out front. He's got 5 cars on West as they go into turns 1 and 2. Now here comes West, battling to his backside down the back straight. We got 6 down and 2 to go.
Hiroshima has ran both the high and low line. West Evans keeping it in the middle as they come to the white flag. West Evans has closed the gap.
Evans in the Methanol moonshine machine all over the backside of Hiroshima as they go down the back straight. They're nose to tail into turns 3 and 4. That'll be our final set of corners for West Evans and Bruce Hiroshima. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Bruce Hiroshima. West Evans is going to finish P2. The 70 of Don Brasher rounding out that top 3. Then you'll pick up the 07 Kevin Kell, 77 of Ace Kell, and the 59 of Scott Niven. That's going to do it for the NMRATQ Midgets. Man, West Evans, man, he was coming late in the race. He just ran out of time, and Bruce Hiroshima, he picks up the win.
Well, Hiroshima earlier in that race, John, was taking it 4 wide. He was the unfortunate soul on the outside coming off of turn 4, but he made it stick. He got a big run. He took the lead, took advantage of a bobble early in the race, and he got the W here in the heat race.
Now, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be our final set of heat races, and it's going to be the IMCA Modifieds. We've got 16 cars in attendance. Heat race number 1, we're looking for Alyssa Smith, Kyle Heckman, Jerry Flippo, Michael Scruggs, Cody Laney, Ethan Dotson, and Austin Kiefer. So we've got some big-time hitters in heat race number 1 for the IMCA Modifieds. And they'll be coming up next. All right, Matt Alvarez, they are there. Inside row number 1 for modified heat race number 1. The 31A of Alyssa Smith. On his outside, he picked up the win in Bristol, Tennessee in the Bill Henderson Racing number 111. It's the hitman, Kyle Heckman.
Inside row number 2, you've got the 13 of Jerry Flippo. Outside, it's the 4th position. It's the 91 of Michael Scruggs.
Inside row number 3 from Torrance, California. It's Terry Henry's Race Prep, Harris Chassis of Cody Laney. On his outside, in the Terry Henry's race prep number 174, it's Ethan Dotson.
And in row 4, the only vehicle that's in row 4, the number 3 AC of Austin Kiefer, rounding out your 7-car field for this heat race.
Austin Kiefer has picked up some big-time wins here in Bakersfield, California. He's a Budweiser National winner. He is a Richie McGowan Memorial winner from Pahrump, Nevada, in the Skinny's Automotive 3AC. We'll see if he can get through the field. We've got some heavy hitters on our hands for heat race number 1. Alyssa Smith, Kyle Heckman lead him into turns 3 and 4. Lights are out. Green flag will fly coming off of turn number 4, and we go green. The Hitman, Kyle Heckman, leads him down into turn number 1 and 2. He'll bring Jerry Flippo down on the bottom side with him. Now here comes Cody Laney. Up the hill goes the 174 of Ethan Dotson.
Big time contact in turn 2 as the yellow flag comes out here. There was a big time accordion effect and stack up between Scruggs, Smith. I believe Flippo may have gotten a part of that. Nonetheless, we are under the yellow flag.
We got a right flat front for Ethan Dotson. That is not what he wanted to see. So he's going to go see if he can get that tire fixed real quick. Typically in heat races, they decide just to go ahead and call it and just try to reboot for the main event. But we'll see if they'll put a right front on the 174 of Ethan Dotson. As you said, Matt, things stacked up pretty tight over there in turns 1 and 2. Pretty much nowhere to go for the 174 of Ethan Dotson. Gets into the backside of a couple of cars, and now he's got a right front down.
Yeah, it got ugly up there in the up towards the wall. You saw Smith get hit from behind. You saw Scruggs get hit from behind. Just the accordion effect in full effect.
It was a great initial start for the 111X of the Hitman, Kyle Heckman. As it looks like we're going to get the 1 to go this time by. We will. Lights will be going out. Green flag will fly once again coming off of turn number 4. Ethan Dotson does not look like he's going to be able to make the back of the field. Alyssa Smith on the point, the lady driver. Inside of row number 1, Kyle Heckman, Jerry Flippo, Michael Scruggs, Cody Laney, and Austin Kiefer. Green flags in the air. We're underway once again for the IMCA Modified Heat Race number 1. It's going to be Heckman once again into turns 1 and 2.
Heckman got the jump at the opening green flag. He gets the jump again, and he widens his lead as they go into turn 3.
3 wide down the back straight into turns 3 and 4. Jerry Flippo's going to get a better of that one. Now here comes Cody Laney, 3 wide at the stripe.
3 wide again on the outside. It's Scruggs trying to hold it up top. He's going to get a big run coming off of 2. It looks like he's going to have the second position.
Scruggs, Flippo, and Cody Laney battling for that number 2 spot. Throw a blanket over him as they come off of turn number 4, but out front it is all the Hitman, Kyle Heckman.
Heckman putting some distance between the 2 and 3 cars. As he looks in his rearview mirror, he's opened up a big lead as he comes into turn 4, as they're 3 wide again for that second spot.
What a battle for that number 2 position. 3 wide down the front straightaway. It gets narrow quick. It's going to be Cody Laney that time by. Now Michael Scruggs still making the top work over there in turns 1 and 2. They're side by side down the back straightaway.
Cody Laney with the advantage coming into turn 3. Finally gets by Scruggs, puts the slide job on. He's going to have sole possession of that number 2 spot behind Kyle Heckman.
Here comes Austin Kiefer in the 3AC around Jerry Flippo. Flippo crosses over, coming off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Out front, Kyle Heckman loves to see all that racing going on right behind him. So it's Heckman, Cody Laney, and Michael Scruggs, your top 3.
Kind of looks like Laney is closing the distance to Heckman as we come into the closing laps. Laney running the low line, Heckman running about middle to high line here. They come off of turn 4. Laney in second, Heckman in first.
Laney now trying the top side over in turns 1 and 2. Trying to run down the Hitman, Kyle Heckman. We got 6 down, making 7. White flag will fly this time, coming off of turn number 4. Now Laney's all over the backside of Kyle Heckman.
Heckman with the better run off of 4. Heckman runs the high line, trying to get all the speed he can off the corner. Laney doing the same as Scruggs almost goes around. He loses a position on the backstretch.
Austin Kiefer now all over the backside of Scruggs over in 3 and 4. Checkered flag will fly. Kyle Heckman picking up the win over Cody Laney. Jerry Flippo in third. It looks like it goes to Michael Scruggs.
Yeah, that battle for fourth at the line was probably a photo finish. It could have been Scruggs. It could have been Kiefer. Who knows? We'll let you know as soon as we know the results. Great racing there. We saw a lot of three-wide action.
You can see Austin Kiefer getting to the side of the 91 of Michael Scruggs. You can see the right rear quarter panel damage to Michael Scruggs in the 91. Looks like a little bit of contact. And they were giving a little, hey, how you doing, buddy? Coming off of the racing surface. So coming up next is heat race number 2. On the point, inside row number 1, the 07X of Troy Morris III. And on his outside, it's the Bill Henderson Racing Victory Circle chassis, the 10N of the Sandman, Rob Sanders.
Inside of row number 2, we got the 51B of Brian Clark. Outside of row number 2, starting in the 4th position, the number 14, Dakota Schweitzer.
Inside row number 3, it's a Dave's Fabrication number 22D of Ryan Daves. And on its outside, the Alpine number 3 of Ryan Lauer. Ryan Lauer in the 3. We're getting the one to go this time by. Lights will be going out. Green flag will fly coming off of turn number 4. Troy Morris III, the Sandman, Rob Sanders, Brian Clark, Dakota Schweitzer, Ryan Daves, and Ryan Lauer. Round out your 6-car field going 8 laps. Keep your eyes up front. That number 10 in of the Sandman, Rob Sanders. Very fast race car driver. Drives a super late model. Now, since that division has gone away, he has jumped in the back into the seat of that 10 in for Bill Henderson, and green flags in the air, and here we go.
Just like you called it, John, Sanders with a good run on the outside, keeping it high, getting another good run, and they make contact as the leaders get into it off of 2.
Brian Clark, problems for Sanders. He gets it all kinds of crossed up. They're going to get together coming off of turn number 4. That's going to bring out the caution. So the Sandman, Rob Sanders, getting it wrong, a little loose on the high side of 3 and 4. Gets it crossed up. He's going to collect the 3 of Ryan Lauer.
Boy, some very hard racing early as the number 07X of Troy Morris, the pole sitter, almost got into Rob Sanders up here off of turn 2. Sanders had to hit the brakes. That allowed the 51B of Brian Clark to stick his nose in there for the lead, and then it all went bad in turns 3 and 4.
Stacked up, close-knit racing for heat race number 2 for the IMCA Modifieds. 2 laps in the books. We've got 6 more to see if we can get the Sandman, Rob Sanders, back up into the hunt. Ryan Daves, inside row number 3 on the start, now all the way up into P2. And that Dave's Fabrication number 22D. So we'll see what he's got for the 07X of Troy Morris III.
Sanders is going to have to start at the very back. He's got a lot of work to do to get back to the front. Got a lot of cars to pass, but plenty of time to do it.
Officials bringing in the 3 of Ryan Lauer. Gonna have a chat with our chief steward, James Dump Cecil. Checking that front bumper for the safety issue. Looks like he will be able to continue if that is not dragging the ground. And he will do so. He will get his position back on the racing surface. Should be right in front of the 10 in of Rob Sanders. Caution being thrown for the 10 in. Collected is the 3. So safety being the number 1 issue. Our chief steward, James Cecil, making sure that front bumper is secure for Ryan Lauer. It is, and he will tag that 5th starting position right in front of the Sandman, Rob Sanders. 1 lap down, 7 laps remaining for Troy Morris III. Looks like we do have some debris on the racing surface. Our officials making their way over off of turn number 4. And you can see the bar. Looks like that might be a bumper of some sort off of one of our competitors. We get it picked up off of the racing surface. We'll get the one to go this time by Troy Morris III. Out front in the 07X, Ryan Daves, Brian Clark, Dakota Schweitzer, Ryan Lauer, and the 10 into the Sandman, Rob Sanders. They'll be nose to tail down the back straightaway, single file restart for the IMCA Modifieds here in heat race racing action. Troy Morris in third, Ryan Daves, Brian Clark, your top three. Up on the bar, green flags in the air, and here we go. Morris goes to the high side. Daves and Clark goes with him. Dakota Schweitzer tries the bottom side, gets it wrong over there. Bunches up the field right behind him. Down to the bottom side in turns 3 and 4 they go. Ryan Daves had a good look underneath Troy Morris in third as they come off of turn number 4. But give it to the 07X of Troy Morris in third.
Good run on the high side there for Troy Morris, able to open up the gap in front of Daves as Daves trying to run the low line. Morris again coming off the corner with a lot more speed as he increases the gap to the second spot. But there's Daves going low.
Daves picking up a push down the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Has to get on the binders to stay off the 07X. He runs it hard down into turns 3 and 4. Gets it rotated. Here comes Ryan Daves in the 22D.
Morris again utilizing the high line. Now Daves go to the high side as he's trying to get some speed off of 2, trying to keep it straight to pick up some speed, and now sends it low into 3 and 4.
Here comes Brian Clark using a high side of a turns 3 and 4, trying to get a run to get to the backside of Ryan Daves as it goes into turns 1 and 2. He does so. Daves pushes. Here comes Brian Clark. He'll take over the number 2 spot coming off of 2.
Daves went a little too high there, but now regains that second spot for the time being. They almost make contact coming off of turn 4. Daves holds position 2.
Daves had a big push coming off of turn number 4. Up into the fence goes the 14 of Dakota Schweitzer. Around will go the 10 in of Rob Sanders. Now they've got a battle on our hands once again for the number 2 spot. They're side by side off of 3 and 4 with 1 to go.
They keep crossing each other over, John, and like I said, Troy Morris up in the first position is loving to see all that racing going on behind him. He opens the gap going into 3.
Checkered flag will fly coming off of turn number 4. The heat race win's going to go to Troy Morris in third. Seconds go to Brian Sleepy Clark over the 22D of Ryan Daves. Finishing fourth is going to be the 10 in of Rob the Sandman Sanders, Dakota Schweitzer, and Ryan Lauer. That's going to do it for heat race number 2. Man, that was a back and forth between Ryan Daves and Brian Clark. That was some close quarter racing, but as you can see, both of those cars nice and clean and straight. Not very much contact, if any, made between those two coming off of turns 3 and 4.
Well, there was a couple of slide jobs there coming off of 2 and coming off of 4. A great battle, like you said, between Daves and Clark. Fortunately for them, none of them spun out. Not a lot of contact was made. I'm sure there was some contact made, but nothing extravagant. Nothing to bring out the yellow. Just good, clean, hard racing there.
That's going to bring up heat race number 3 for the IMCA Modified. Starting on the point, the 17 in the Terry Henry's Race Prep Machine, Steve Nolan. And on his outside, it's the Woodworks Unlimited Rosedale Automotive 198 of the Rebel Rouser, Robbie Sawyer.
Inside of row number 2 in that third position, the 51G of Gavin Manning. And on the outside in the fourth position, the AR-15 of Jack Aguiar.
Inside row number 3, you pick up the 41 of Danny Lauer. And on its outside, rounding out the field in the 61, it's Dalton Houghton. And that'll be a 6-car field for heat race number 3 for the IMCA Modifieds. This will be our final heat race of the night. Steve Nolan, Robbie Sawyer, Gavin Manning, Jack Aguiar, Danny Lauer, and Dalton Houghton. Lights are going out on the back straightaway. We'll get the green flag coming off of turn number 4 this time by. They got to be side by side at the cone. Steve Nolan, Robbie Sawyer, Gavin Manning, Jack Aguiar, Danny Lauer, and Danny Houghton. Green flags in the air, and here we go.
It seems like the car on the outside has always gotten the jump at the drop of the green flag. It's no different here as Robbie Sawyer opens up a 2-car length advantage going into 3.
It's Sawyer, Nolan, and Jack Aguiar. That's Aguiar. It's Aguiar in number 3 spot. Out front it is all the Rebel Rouser, Robbie Sawyer.
Not as much 2 and 3 wide action in this heat race as we had in the first 2, as it seems to be pretty clean, and they come off of 4 for lap number 2 and 3.
Best battle on the track is between Aguiar and G-Money. Gavin Manning coming off of turns 1 and 2. Manning goes a little high, jumps the cushion. He's going to give Aguiar comfortable lead going into turns 3 and 4.
Steve Nolan tried the low side there, but slid up the track as Robbie Sawyer continues to maintain that high line. Nolan goes low again. Sawyer with the speed off of 2.
Nolan slides himself in turns 1 and 2. Robbie Sawyer has 5 cars, making 6 coming off of turn number 4, leading it halfway down. 4 laps down, 4 laps remaining for heat race number 3.
Nolan again on the low side. Sawyer keeping it up high. Sawyer opening up a big gap to the second position as a battle for third now as Jack Aguiar gets in the mix.
Aguirre now to the backside of Nolan as they go into turns 1 and 2. Aguirre goes high. Nolan down to the bottom side. Aguirre's getting that high RPM run coming off of turn number 2. Can't quite get the drive to get to the back bumper of Steve Nolan.
Nolan keeps it low, but again slides up in turn number 4. Aguiar able to close the gap just a little bit, but Aguiar closing in, wanting that second spot as the laps wind down.
Danny Lauer now trying to get to the backside of Gavin Manning, but can't quite get there. Out front, we got the white flag flying for the Rebel Rouser, Robbie Sawyer. He goes high into turns 1 and 2. He'll rock it down the back straightaway. 2 more corners for Robbie Sawyer.
Sawyer with a big advantage, almost an entire back straight advantage over the second place car as Sawyer comes off turn number 4.
Sawyer picks up the win in the number 2 spot. It's going to be Steve Nolan. Jack Aguirre in the number 3 spot. Gavin Manning finishing 4th. Rounding out that top 5 in the 41 is Danny Lauer. So give it up for the Rebel Rouser, Robbie Sawyer, with a big win in that Woodworks Unlimited Rosedale Automotive number 198. And that's going to do it for all of our heat race action here at the Bakersfield Speedway for night number 5 of the 76th year of racing. Right now, the standing light is going to be lit, ladies and gentlemen. Now's that perfect time.